Hi, Chris and Cameron here with IPD, and we're going to talk to you about performance exhaust systems for turbocharged Volvos. Now, for a long time, IPD's been distributing exhaust systems catered to turbo models. Now, we've got a lot of knowledge around what works and all the features that we've developed over the years to make these systems work really well for your car. Now, we've got a couple different features and different items and terminology that we want to help you get more familiar with. That's a downpipe and a catback. So if you've been looking to upgrade your Volvo's exhaust system, now's a good time to check out this video. I'm going to turn it over to Cameron, and he's going to go over some of the differences between a downpipe and a catback.
So talking about downpipes, we're talking about the part that comes down off the turbocharger on the back of the motor to underneath the car to connect with the rest of the exhaust system. Now, a downpipe has a few major components that are going to be the same on all models. One is the flange where it connects to the turbo, the piping that comes down, the flex section, which as the name suggests is the area that flexes in the exhaust system as the engine moves. And then after that, which isn't in this piece Chris is holding but is on the car, there's also going to be the catalytic converter. These are the main components of what makes a downpipe. Everything after that is generally referred to as the catback system. Now, when we're talking about performance downpipes, what makes this downpipe or any performance downpipe different than what's on the car already? There's going to be a couple major differences. One is going to be diameter. Most cars that come with a turbocharger on them are going to have decent diameter exhaust system for decent power levels, for factory power levels. But when you're talking performance, you're talking flow, that's when you want to go to something bigger. So most downpipes, including all of ours, are going to be a larger diameter. Second is going to be material. Factory ones are going to be aluminized steel mostly, and ours are all going to be stainless steel. This means longevity, this means not corrosion, and it means also, as a side effect, good looks. The other components that you're going to consider on this are going to be the quality of the flex section and also going to be the quality of the catalytic converter. Catalytic converter is quite important. It's going to keep your car legal, it's going to keep it clean, it's not going to harm the environment any more than your stock downpipe did when you have a good, well-made high-flow catalytic converter. So now that we've talked about that, what does a downpipe do? Why do you want a bigger diameter downpipe? The idea behind this is that you're going to get more air out of the turbocharger faster, which means more power down low, which means a faster spool up of your turbocharger. So if you're looking for a little more low-end grunt, you want that turbo to get going a little bit faster, downpipe is the answer.
IPD's always prided themselves on the quality of sound when we've actually manufactured or worked in distributing a good quality exhaust system or a catback. So when adding a catback, you're going to get generally a little bit more sound to it. Now, IPD is always shooting for a more of a tuned sound, something that you hear when you've got load on the car or at full throttle. Now, we shoot for maybe a little bit above stock at idle. Now, adding an exhaust system, getting more performance means less resistance, more flow. Having a least resistant muffler is going to cause it to be a little bit louder. Just a smidge, nothing that's going to drive you out of the car. So when adding a catback to your car, think about that. IPD does respect the quality of sound underneath a Volvo or coming out of a Volvo. But it doesn't mean that some people don't want to hear something a little bit more out of their car, especially when it's relating to performance. So Cameron's going to go over some of the specifics underneath the vehicle on why IPD systems are so nice, especially when fitting underneath the car. It's going to save you labor and time, but there's definitely a lot of quality when adding an IPD exhaust system to your car.
So I'm going to show you that right now. If you look here, right here is the end of the downpipe that we talked about previously, and then everything from back here on is referenced as the catback. And the reason is because it's everything behind and back from the catalytic converter. So that's going to consist of this, sometimes called a mid-pipe, up to here, which is a resonator, which is what kind of tones the sound like Chris talked about. And then again we go up over here, up over the rear end and the delta link to the rear muffler, and then to the exhaust tip. Now, as we talked about with the downpipe, there's a few main things that make in a catback system a performance system. Diameter and material, and then quality of flow through the resonators and through the mufflers are going to be some of the other big things. Now, all our IPD systems, as Chris mentioned, are very good fits. We put a lot of time, a lot of research into this so that fitting it in your driveway or professionally on a lift can go as smooth as possible and as easy as possible. So if you notice on our piping here, we've got all our hangers all welded on exactly where they should be, hanging on with factory locations, fitting directly in the middle of the heat shields, going right up in the stock location, so you're not going to have interference anywhere. So that means when you're putting it in, you're not going to spend time pulling your hair out trying to figure out how it works. You're going to pull your hair out having fun with it when you're in the car driving it afterwards instead.
Like all IPD branded products, our parts fit, they go into the stock location, there's no modifications required. That means all your exhaust sensor ports are in the right locations. That means we give you adjustability because we know our customers like to custom fit the way that the tip exits the rear muffler. Those are all adjustable in our exhaust system, so that way you can set up how you want the exhaust system to look and the appearance. We hope that you like the sound. We've got a bunch of different clips on YouTube. regarding all of our exhaust systems so that we can get a feel of how our exhausts sound. But like all of our exhaust systems for turbocharged vehicles, there's a bunch of different alterations, whether it's a downpipe or you just buy the catback section by itself. Both of them gain you different types of power at different levels. So do a little bit of research or give us a call and we'd be glad to talk to you about your purchase. But definitely visit us on the website, check your application to see what kind of parts that we have that fit your model, and enjoy.
Don't forget, IPD is not responsible for excessive burned rubber after an exhaust system install.
That's right.